Good morning and welcome to the celebration of Father Justin's 60th anniversary of his ordination to the priesthood. My name is Nancy Chisholm and I'm a volunteer here at the Hermitage, and I'm going to help us through this presentation today by pressing, hopefully, the right buttons. You see the message on the screen. We'd like you to keep muted until it's share time, so we don't get doorbells barking and all of that while Father's talking. Most of you know the drill. We also are recording today's session, so you probably are getting a message about allowing that. Our agenda for today is ahead of us. First, we'll have a little meditation from Father Justin to keep us going. Then he'll do his presentation. We're going to have some time for group exchange, and then we'll share from those groups and finally say goodbye.
So if you could, please close your eyes and allow your body to relax. And image God's presence within you as light. And see us all connected in that divine, cosmic, unconditional love energy. And we say thank you for the opportunity to share this morning, or this evening, or this afternoon, wherever you are. And we thank God for the opportunities that we have had to share our lives together and to share our truths together and to share the power and the practice of meditation together. And we thank divine, cosmic, unconditional love for the opportunity of this hour. And we say, Amen. You know, I wanted to just give you a bird's eye view of where I come from and what I've been through, and where we still have to go. So this is the beginning. Now you will notice on the drum, the Godek, Belitz, accordion lavaliers. And if you go from the left and count, I'm the third on the accordion. But I used to wear a grass skirt and I used to shake it real good. Next one. And I wanted to put this in because this was a really important part of my life. As we were growing up during the war years, we were entertaining at hospitals and USO camps. Very important experience. And this is where I had got all my nurturing from the time I was a very small child. My mom, my brother Jack, and my brother Joe and brother Jim, and Daddy. That's where my spiritual life began. Aren't I cute? And of course, we celebrated a lot. This is the celebration of me going to the seminary. And here I am in the monastery where we had very, very meager meals. I was thin enough, but I came out thinner. And my brother Jim, he was our clown and the most important musician in the family. And I knew I was going to be a priest at age 5. And this is the beginning of the ordination mass, where we had a live prostate. And I remember I broke into tears. It was a goal that took me 20 years. And here's the bishop giving me the power of priesthood. And vesting for my first mass in Omaha. And that's a celebration with the family. They came from all over the country. And this is why I was giving my first blessings. And from there, I went to Padua High School. My passion all my life has been with music, and I started there. I don't have a great many slides of Padua, but there were 13 important years of my life teaching music. And here at the beginning of our tours. Oh yes, for many years we were taking groups to places all over the world, and I was living then at Alverna. That's what the background here is. And the most important work I was doing at that time were parish renewals. And this is one from Australia in, this was a morning session, but when I had my Thursday night closing, we had 1,200 people there. And I was doing retreats also for different groups. This is a group of retired nuns in the Chicago area. And I was also doing successful living classes with children in many of the places where I went. And traveling also to the Holy Land. And here we are at the Hermitage in 1984. And this is one of our volunteers representing the many, many volunteers who have helped us, not only here, but abroad. And the person is Lillian Kresick, really dear, dear friend of ours. And this is one of the trips that we made to the Holy Land. We really didn't kiss. And here we are. I was doing teaching abroad also. Oh, and I was really proud of the person on the right. You know, in my successful living class, we talk about the importance of creativity. And that's her very first painting after she did the class. And on the left is the class itself in Brussels. Oh, I tell you, the young people that I have met over all these years in my classes have been really great gifts. You know, the young man in the center, this is in Latvia. Latvians cannot understand Lithuanians. They live next door, so their common language is Russian. So when I was giving the class, I had a Russian translator. And this youngster came up to me at a break, speaking perfect English. I was amazed. He speaks Latvian and Lithuanian and Russian. And we really bonded, as you can see. And back in Lithuania, I did a radio interview for the entire country, and the priest who was interviewing me became the bishop. But I just want to add here, all over Australia and in Europe, New York, Pennsylvania, Cleveland, Indianapolis, I was on television really touching millions of people. It was wonderful. And here we are with some more young people. And on the left, after we get finished with all the work, we party. And here we are in Poland. Oh, I'll tell you, I taught in at least 5 or 6 major cities in Poland, and I was always embarrassed because that's where my heritage is. All my grandparents came from Poland, and I can't speak the language, but I can tell Polish jokes. And this is Romania. This is last year. I was teaching this class, and I was doing this class that the word came out about the pandemic. And we had teams here in Romania and also in Brussels, shifting all of my plane tickets so that I could get on the very last plane that left Europe for US citizens only. It was really a miracle. Oh, and when I get finished with all of my work in in Europe, I spend 1 week with the friars in Naples, and the center person is Antonio, whom I've known for, at least 20 years, and Sister Paula, and we always have such a fantastic time. And Sister Paula put this picture together because it's part of my relationships class. And this is the very first class that I did in Australia. It's at the University of Western Australia, and I was teaching successful living. And they booked out the history department. And that was the beginning of 30 years of returning to Australia to teach, especially my successful living class. And in Australia, this is a meditation class that I did at the Catholic Center. And I also taught at Peace Be Still. Oh, part of my parish renewals were especially getting to the children. And it was always wonderful to work with them. And this is at Peace Be Still in Australia. They were doing a very special program, a ballet at Chittering. And my heart is still there. And this is another photo on the veranda at Peace Be Still. And here we are in Assisi more recently. I really enjoyed going there. I lived in Assisi for 4 months. It's the only place where I had homesickness when I left. I don't know what that's all about. And of course, we visited Rome frequently. And here, my mom, who wanted to travel all her life, and because my dad became a Jehovah's Witness, She thought that was impossible. So she started to join all the trips that we took with the group. And together we had a fantastic time. And here we are in Malta. I returned there twice. Once for meeting with all the English-speaking Franciscan provincials from all over the world. And that's when I swam with the dolphins. It was wonderful. And here I found this wonderful creature in Africa. We did a trip to Kenya, and we went into the Serengeti. It was a fabulous experience. And retreats at sea. We did one of those every year for almost 20 years. And the picture here is the chaplain with his girlfriend and other people who were there on the trip. Oh, and here we are on another sea trip with my Aunt Clara and Uncle Pete and my Uncle Joe and myself. Oh, these are such fabulous memories. And then we went to Alaska. And we met the Pope. I met the Pope several times. He was so wonderful to me when he met my mother and I, and he spoke in Polish to Ma and to me in English. Ma was in seventh heaven for the rest of her life, having had that experience with him. And on the left is the Archbishop of Perth, and the Bishop of Assisi. And I will never forget the very first thing that he told us when we went to visit him. I took the whole group. He said, "We must become Jesus." Not put Jesus on a pedestal, but we must become Jesus. That was really important. And Dr. Kubler-Ross, who wrote Death and Dying, I did one of her workshops also. And Ms. Sarton, who we invited here to teach and give a workshop. And Arthur Fiedler, he invited Joella Jones, with whom I studied at the Cleveland Institute of Music, and I'm still in touch with her. And she married one of the cellists in the orchestra. And I performed their wedding in Cleveland at St. Francis Church. And I brought both of them into the church. And their celebration included members of the Cleveland Orchestra and chorus. Oh, that was really a wonderful experience. Oh, and by the way, their son is Justin. And I'm still in touch with him too. He's the lawyer in DC. Oh, and Dizzy Gillespie. For those of you who are older, remember him. Very important musician in the jazz field. And here we are, successfully doing the meditation classes, successful relating. We teach the art of listening and the prayer of quiet. So we're always very busy here with workshops and classes. And, you know, we do have these important energy circles that are, for me, the most important part of the follow-up to what we do. So on Tuesday nights, we have an international meditation group that meets for 1 hour on Zoom. And then we have another energy circle that meets physically here at the Hermitage on Wednesday nights. And we have energy circles going in Europe and in Australia. And there's other energy circles going on here in Indianapolis. And these are so important because when people start getting involved with meditation, you need a support group. And this picture, we put all of our intentions into a box so that we can, in our meditation, focus on all those petitions and send energy to them. And the numbers of successes that we have had in so many areas. People, for example, who needed to find a way to get a car, put the intention in the energy box, and all of the pieces that were necessary fell together, and she got the car of her choice. We've had many people who have used meditation, for example, to overcome migraine headaches, or people who have been able to control pain, or people who have even overcome cancer and AIDS. And so, this work for me is absolutely exciting every single day of my life. And, one of the important things that we do at the present point is we do a homily every week at the Sunday Mass, and it's only about 6 to 8 minutes. And we are, touching thousands of people all over the world with this single item. And every day I get success stories from people on how they have used the techniques that we teach to make their lives more happy and more peaceful. And, those are the things that motivate me to continue to do the work that we're doing. Now, I just finished redoing the Successful Living book, and it's now in an ebook, which can be obtained on Amazon. And my next item is going to be to put the Successful Thinking, which is the meditation book, into an ebook. And this is the invitation to the weekly homily. And if you're not getting that link, please be in touch with us. We'll be very happy to put your email address and send that short homily to you every week. And if you're ever in the area, please feel free to come and visit us. And when we ask people, how do you feel? Well, we all feel better and better because your mouth is telling your ears to tell the entire body to feel better.
And now we're going to start group sharing. You'll be put in small groups automatically. And when you're in those groups, what we'd like you to do is share your thoughts or stories about your interactions with Father Justin. And make sure you select a reporter for your group, because when we come back, that person is going to bring just one thought that you had from the group so that we can keep this moving. You'll be told when you're about to return to the large group. And now I'm going to let us see each other.
Okay, we would like to hear from one person from each group. So can we hear from group one?
I don't think we know what number groups we were, do we?
Yes, Lee,
Oh,
we're
I
group,
don't.
Lee, we're group
We,
one.
we were group one, were we? Oh, right. Oh, sorry, I'm suddenly in the limelight. Hello, Justin. Right, so in our group, which I've just found out was group number one, we had two groups. One was a couple and one was Susan there, who's just dubbed me in. And they're from the States. We also had another two groups from Australia, two groups from Perth, Australia. One was just by herself called Alison, and the other group had 7 people who were meeting in Barbara's place. And they're a silver graduate meeting group or cottage group, and they meet regularly once a month. And then there was me, and I'm from Europe. I'm the only representative in the group one from Europe. And although I also represent Australia because I am an Aussie, and I know Justin because he has been coming for many, many years as our guest to teach successful living in Paris, because I'm a silver director in Paris. So I'm not actually in France at the moment. I'm in England. I'm not allowed back to France for the moment because of the whole COVID situation. So I'm doing nearly all my classes online at the moment. Anyway, so we heard a lot of great stories and reminiscences. Most people in the group have known Justin for 20 to 30 years, if not longer. So, but I was chosen to give my story because it's a great example of how Justin's energy circle really works and how he is working with the Lord in mysterious ways. And this was some years back now. Justin had been with us recently in Paris, but it was back in the States. And I had a particular problem to do with the silver method, and I just had no idea what to do. So I did a silver method technique, which is called the glass of water technique, where you ask to get a dream or an inspiration or something in the next 24 hours. And sure enough, I had a dream where I was walking along a corridor and I walked into Father Justin. And I said, "Oh, Justin, you're in my dream. You must have the answer to my problem." And he was on his way, in fact, to a meeting of his energy circle group. And he said, "Lee, I can't help you right now. I've got to go to the group, but I will put your name in the group. We will pray for you. And I just need to tell you, everything will be all right. Just go and read." And it was Kings 1. I can't tell you the exact quotation anymore, if I would have to look it up, but he just gave me a verse and chapter in the Bible. I had no idea what it was. Anyway, when I woke up, first thing I did was scribble it out quickly so I wouldn't forget it. Rushed to my copy of the Old Testament, looked it up, and sure enough, it was a quotation about a dream, and it was the answer to my problem. So, Justin, I would like to say thank you for so much helping out, even when you're not physically available. You're always spiritually available. Thank you. So that's my story, and thank you to my group also. So we can pass over to group number 2 now, whoever you are.
Thank you, thank you. Love you lots.
Love
Okay,
you
group
too,
2.
Justin. Miss you. Looking forward to seeing you again, giving you a hug.
Amen. Dan and Eileen and Margie, can we have some feedback from you?
Hey, hi, everybody. I'm Eileen. I'm Bud's cousin, first cousin, once removed. And we had a very diverse group. So we had Margaret that's from Pennsylvania, Ricardo from Omaha. So I guess he connected with him in his hometown when he would go there. that was kind of nice. Suzette from Australia, and Margie and Dan from Indy. So, and everyone has either done Silva, Successful Living, the Peace and Energy Circles. So that in that way, Bud has touched all of our lives, and he's made it for the better. I didn't share this in my group, but when Bud was in Cleveland, I took Silva Mind Control when I was in 8th grade. And so I've never forgotten it, and use it not as much as I should, but I still do to this day. And anyway, we had a wonderful discussion about Bud and how he's shared his ministry with people for 60 years plus, probably, maybe beyond that even. So that's been a real gift to all of us. And hopefully I can say that out of everyone here, I've known him the longest all my life.
Very good.
So bless you. Thank you for everything you've done for me and for this group.
Thank you.
So,
I understand that you already met Lisa. Is that true?
Yeah, we did a little chat because I was like, oh yeah.
I'm so glad.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and I hope to see you soon and give you a big hug.
Amen.
Okay.
Tell family I said hello, please.
Will do. That's another thing. He's with all of the things that he does, and he has so many time constraints, he always manages to keep the families together and give us updates on everyone everywhere. So thank you for that. Love you, Bud.
Love you. Okay, number 3. Oh, that's our group.
Well, Lisa just wrote and asked if I'd talk, but I think, Jeff, you have much more information that you shared with the group. You're much more, would you go ahead and talk for us? How about that for putting you on the spot?
Yeah, I feel really put upon, as Justin so often has done to me. But I also don't really feel qualified because I came into the group late, because we're dealing with a little minor flood in our house, so that's why I was late joining. But the one anecdote I have to share is that I think I may have met Justin in the most unique way because we were both naked when we met. So if anybody else can say they met Justin in the nude, please raise your hand. No, didn't see any other hands, but how Justin and I met and became fast friends was at the Jordan YMCA hot tub, because we were both, for many years, avid exercise freaks at the Jordan Y, and would end up finishing our workout with a nice, enjoyable hot tub. And so here we are, a couple of nude dudes, and we struck up a conversation and realized that we both had deeply held interest in spirituality and history of religion and philosophy and so forth. And so we started meeting for lunch regularly, fully clothed. And I've learned about Justin's ministry over the years. And I'm sorry, I really can't say anything about the other members of our group, because when I came in, they were all finished speaking. And so I was the only one who was flapping my jaw throughout the group session that I participated in. But so I'll just end by saying, although Justin has dropped out of the Jordan Y, so I no longer get to see him naked, I still look forward to our regular lunches, and he is just, beyond all the great things he's done in ministry, he's just a delightful companion, a great friend, and someone who my life has been enriched by through conversation.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, you did. What a great job. And I used to have an office in the Hermitage where I did, I rented a room upstairs right across from the office. So I was really blessed to have that additional experience at that time. So what a wonderful spiritual leader for so many of us. Thank you.
May we hear from group 4, please? Marietta?
Hi, I'm Tom, coming to you live all the way from Lausanne, Switzerland, where it's a bit of a cloudy day, but it's been very warm. I've been talking with Marietta, and there were 3 people altogether with Marietta. I was by myself. The best moments, Justin. Well, I said they were all good moments, and they all were good moments. The course is great. I've enjoyed giving you a hand in Geneva and doing the occasional interpreting for you. It's been really, really good. People come up to me afterwards as if I've been giving the course, but I've only been doing translating. And the feedback, Justin, is absolutely phenomenal, and it always has been. My main memory of the course is the incredibly powerful technique you've given us, the God bag. I've tried this time and time again, and it just works so well that when you go back to it 2 or 3 or 4 years later, and you look on the message that you wrote and put in the God bag, how much of it has come true. It's weird. It's spooky. It is absolutely unbelievable. You have greetings from Marietta. Marietta, with whom you've stayed in Geneva, her and her family on several occasions. And she reminds me of a concert that you had in the garden. Do you remember that, Justin?
Yes, yes.
You were playing, Chloe was playing, and the surprise guest was an alpine horn. Do you remember that? There was an alpine horn, and there was a small concert with 3 of you playing together, and that's one of Marietta's memorable recollections of you in Geneva.
Yeah.
Well, I think I've done the rounds. I think we said everything. But yes, Justin, we're waiting for you back here in Geneva when this vile piece of medical claptrap has got out of the way. I'll be glad. We'll all be glad to see you back in Geneva. Oh, there was one thing that really surprised me. When you showed the slides earlier on, there was a photograph of you with a young man, and I thought, I recognise this young man, and it was my son Brad about 9 or 10 years ago. I had forgotten that photo was taken. Thank you, Justin, for everything you're bringing us. It is delightful, and thank you for coming into our lives. Over and out, on to group 5.
Great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And the last group, that's with the Curlins.
And Justin, it's Gail from Bustleton, Australia.
Ah, how are you?
I'm good.
Pleasure.
I know, how exciting. So I'm Gail Barnett from Bustleton in Western Australia.
Yes.
And I had the delight to talk with Dick and Pat Curling, who haven't spoken to for years. So that was just so delightful. And I've got so much to say, I don't know where to start. In 1984, I was at your first one at the university.
What do you do?
And that was because I lived next door to Frank and Renee Bennett. And they told me all about you, and I listened to the Graham Maidbury show, and I ran into their house at 12 o'clock at night and said, I don't know how I'm going to pay for it, but I'm going.
Well, I want to tell the group that one of the first things that I recall is I was saying Gail, and she says it's Guile.
No, you were saying it's Gail.
You're not muted.
You cheeky
Thank
boy.
you all so much. I really appreciate you all connecting with me and with everybody else on this particular hour. It's been very special. And know that all of you are included in our energy boxes as we move into the future. And please do keep in touch. I love you all.